Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, then hi, hello, my name is Samira. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today's video is 1 year from getting diagnosed with bipolar. But before I get into the video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when I post brand new videos. Give it a like, show a little bit of support, and obviously share the video. I'll get straight into the video. So this time last year, I was manic, I was unpredictable, I was unemployed, I was unwell with my eating disorder. I just didn't know what was going to happen. I couldn't imagine continuing living my life the way I was living it. I didn't know what to expect from each day. Just the way I was feeling, like I can't even put into words. And I went to the Priory and I got my diagnosis of bipolar affective disorder exactly 1 year ago today. Getting my diagnosis, as weird as it may sound, was a relief. I knew that it wasn't depression that I was suffering with, which was what I got diagnosed with whilst I was 13, so 10 years ago. I knew it wasn't just depression, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was, and I was trying to understand the way I was feeling, and it didn't really make sense to me until I got my diagnosis. Knowing the signs and symptoms of bipolar and what somebody's like when they're manic and what somebody's like when they're depressive state made a lot more sense to me. And I think me and my family knew that it wasn't depression, it was definitely something else, but obviously I had no idea what it was. Looking back to a year ago to where I am now is mind-blowing. Like, it just doesn't even feel like it's me. So obviously, like I said, I was unpredictable, I was manic, I just wasn't very well, I relapsed with my eating disorder, I had no job, no hope, and I was in a really bad place. Fast forward to a year now, I'm employed, and I've been employed for just under a year in a job that I absolutely love and adore. I'm in a new home with my son. I am the heaviest I've been so far this year. I'm happier, and I have not had one manic episode for a year now, which seems crazy. It definitely hasn't been like all roses this year, and I've definitely suffered with a few depressive episodes, but nowhere near as bad as what it used to be. And medication is definitely something that's helped massively. I won't go on too much about medication. I don't know if anybody's interested in that at all, but if you are interested, then leave me a comment or message me, and I can definitely make a video about the medication that I've tried and the medication I'm on now. It's definitely been a process of trialing and erroring different medications, but I finally found the right medication for me. I guess I just wanted to reflect on the past year. Obviously, it's not 1 year having bipolar. I had bipolar before this time last year, but it's a year since I've been diagnosed with it. I think it taught me a lot getting diagnosed with bipolar. Beforehand, I think I had a lot of misconceptions and probably judgment as well. I mean, when I thought of bipolar, I thought of Jean Slater on EastEnders because that's all I knew about bipolar, and that's kind of what is portrayed like. But it's definitely not like that at all. I think people get confused and think with bipolar you're like a yo-yo. You're either super high or super low, and that's not at all. This year's mainly been me being stable. I've definitely had some blips along the way, but the support that I've got in place now is amazing because now I know what I'm dealing with. I have a nurse psychiatrist that I see. I still go to an eating disorder clinic because my eating disorder and my mood go hand in hand. So if I'm feeling low, then my weight tends to drop. So it's still a constant battle, and I've definitely not fully recovered, and I don't think I ever fully will. But it's something that's managed as well. If people want a more in-depth video as well about my eating disorder, where I'm at, things that I do to get back on track, how I deal with things. Then again, leave me a comment or give me a message and I'll definitely make a video about it. But yeah, and even when I meet people now and they find out I have bipolar, they're like, oh, you don't look like you have bipolar. And I don't really know what someone with bipolar is meant to look like. I don't really know what the face of bipolar is. But that's because I function like a normal human being, just like everybody else. And I'm fully aware that in a few months' time, or a year down the line, or 3 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, that I could relapse and potentially have a manic episode again. But it's definitely under control, and I found triggers for when I go downhill as well. It's a lot easier for me to recognize when I'm going in a depressed state to a manic state. It's normally coming out of a manic state that I realize, and other people pointing it out. But obviously I've got my medication now, and if I feel like I am slipping, then I can take a PRN to bring me back down to a baseline. This year has been so amazing. Obviously, I think it was my diagnosis and going through that process that made me really passionate about raising awareness for mental health, about sharing my experience, the good parts, the bad parts, and just normalizing it, I guess, because other than the common cold, it's the most common illness and not enough people talk about it. So I guess that's why I started my whole YouTube channel. And I myself didn't know anything about bipolar. I didn't know anybody who had bipolar. And maybe had I have known more, then I would have maybe seen the signs a bit earlier. I don't really know. But I just wanted to show you that I am a normal person despite my diagnosis. And in fact, you can lead a relatively normal life with it, and that it can be managed and kept under control, and you can do everything that you thought you never could when you were ill. This time last year, I never thought that I'd be in the home I'm in, that I would be in the job I'm in, that I would even be in the mindset that I'm in. And then obviously earlier this year, I worked with the BBC, which was so amazing, to share my story and help raise awareness again, and just start conversations and normalize it. I definitely had some trolling off the back of that. That part wasn't so nice. But I guess not everybody is as understanding or has as much knowledge on it as others. And that was kind of why I wanted to make that video. It proved to me that there is still very much a stigma and judgment behind it, but I feel like it was one more step in the right direction on breaking that down. Guess that's kind of my update. I could probably do a more in-depth update if people wanted to see that. I'm not really sure. I feel out of practice. I haven't posted in a little while, and I am inconsistent with posting. It's something that I would like to do on a consistent basis, and I will attempt to do that, but I don't want to make any promises. But if you made it this far, then thanks for sitting with me and chatting with me and listening, I guess. And if you have any questions, I'd rather people ask me questions and I was able to answer them than people make assumptions. Or if you're suffering yourself and you would like some advice, I don't know how much advice I could give, but I could definitely empathize with you and share my experience. But yeah, this is a year diagnosed with bipolar, and I'm smiling, and it seems crazy that I'm smiling whilst talking about it, but I know what it is now. I can manage it, it's under control, and I'm in a really good place. And I didn't think that that was ever going to be possible, especially looking back to where I was last year. I definitely didn't see a way out, and the way I was going just wasn't in a good path at all. And I remember getting to the Priory and her saying to me, you're really unwell, do you realise? And I don't think maybe I realised then how much I was struggling. But that just goes to show how important it is to seek help and talk about these things, because had I've kept that in or stayed in denial or not reached out, then my life could be completely different. I probably wouldn't be in a job that I love. I achieved my level 3 qualification in health and social care as well. That's definitely something that I didn't think I'd be able to do, and I did it in 6 months. And again, I've just been focused, I guess, in other jobs. I haven't had the passion, and I probably haven't had the mindset to keep in the job, especially when my mood differs, and I've kind of left and given up. But I have hope now, and I hope other people have hope. Yeah, I feel like I'm just waffling now. So that is everything. If there's any videos that you want me to film, then let me know, and I guess I will